Alrighty. Once again, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Play System Shock 2. I remain very excited for this. This game is not new to me. I've played it a few times. I would venture to say I would qualify as an expert at this point, although probably not an expert on the tweaks that would be necessary to optimize it for modern systems. The good news for me is it's available on GOG, which means there's a version that will run on modern machines right out of the box. All I have to do is download it and push play. That's the hope. Let's what I honestly am worried about is my dual screen setup. I'm gonna hit play right quick and just see. Oh, good. It's working. I can see my Streamlabs window just fine. That's all I could hope for, really. Let's watch. Okay. So, here we are. I can't believe how old this game is. This game is 23 years old now. You can see copyright 1999 Looking Glass Studios. This game is old enough that there are Easter egg references to it in games like BioShock Infinite. The hidden hardest difficulty mode is called 1999 mode, which makes BioShock Infinite more like this game. That's apparently how you make a game really fucking difficult. So, but I love this game. I really, really do. It'll definitely show its age when we get in there, particularly in terms of things like graphics and what have you. But the atmosphere is second to none. It's a terrific immersive sim, wonderful storytelling. The world building is fantastic. It's just really, really good. So, before we start, it's always a good idea to kick through our options. Let me check out the controls. Run forward is W. This game, interestingly enough, is built on the Dark Engine, just like Thief and Thief 2. So it's got a lot of control overlap, but obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but all of the stealth mechanics from the Dark Engine are disabled. So you can't sneak around. So even though this game has a walk forward control, in addition to run forward, there's not ever really any need to walk. So I'm not going to bother binding that like I normally would. But it looks like we have a nice default WASD, which was not a given in 1999. Hi, Tara. So good to see you. Welcome back. Let's see. Lean left, Q and E. That's good. But again, the lean controls, they don't do that much. But I think I'm still going to rebind them to what I would normally use in Thief. Because I can't quite remember. It's possible that leaning around corners still helps avoid detection. I actually don't remember. Jump is space, yes. Toggle crouch, I like F. Map for M, reload with R, yes. Mouse 1 and mouse 2, tab, control for hold crouch. Okay, that's all pretty good. Unread log, that's fine. Yeah, this needs to change. Quick save is good. You don't want to let me use F5? I'm pushing F5 and it's popping back Alt S again. So I guess it's possible I'll have to use Alt S, Alt L, which is not ideal. Video, resolution's properly set at the outset. Hello, Martin. Well, I'm not sure how different it's going to be. At the request of one of the voting Patreons, I am going to start Navy this time. And I'm not going to be so melee focused. I'm going to... Yeah, there are going to be some differences. I've actually decided, like, obviously I'm going to play on Impossible, but I kind of want to do something I've personally never done before. So I'm toying with the idea of focusing on the grenade launcher. Because, I'm thinking about weapons you can get relatively early, that don't require a massive module investment to function. And I know you can get a grenade launcher early. I know that if you get heavy weapons to 4, which is pretty doable, like it can one-shot cyborg assassins and the spiders. I think a rumbler takes 1 shot plus a pistol bullet. So, yeah, I'm definitely not Psi is just too useful. Like in terms of like you need Psi on Impossible. If nothing else, you simply require you must be able to make use of those Psi hypos. You don't have enough resources otherwise. But whereas my first Impossible run largely focused on the wrench and offensive Psi powers, I think this time, like I said, I'm gonna orient myself toward the grenade launcher with supporting Psi abilities. And the request was to start Navy and do a kind of tech-oriented build. So to the extent that's possible, that's what I'm going to do. Obviously, though, I still need a way to kill things. I'm playing on vanilla, so the insane respawn rate and weapon degradation are still going to be a thing. But if I am planning to actually use weapons other than melee, tech is actually a pretty reasonable place to be focused, because I'm going to want to be able to do modifications, although I probably can't. Even starting Navy, I don't think I can get enough nanites to invest in modify beyond 1. So that's the other reason I'm drawn to the grenade launcher. You can do the first modification for it with only 1 modify skill. So yeah, I'm kicking around the details right now, but I kind of I was a little surprised this game won so thoroughly in the vote this round, but it wasn't even close. Like, it was the only one. It was the only game that got more than 1 vote. Like, it was pretty solid landslide. It's the first time that's happened. So apparently, some people want to see this game again. So I'm going to try to do so that there's still some novelty for me. I'm going to try to do something new build wise, and we're also going to, of course, do a full completion playthrough, like I always do.
Left, right.
48 is the max, apparently. That's all good. Duh! Winning! Alright. Hi, Karis. Hey, dude. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Alright. Without further ado, fingers crossed that the GOG version actually does work out of the box like they normally do. Let's hit new game. Impossible. Yes, please. I don't know, though. Even, like, the very first time I booted this game up when I was, I don't think yeah, no EAX. It doesn't recognize that whatever my modern sound system is supports EAX. I have such good memories of this game. The very first time I played it, I was just immediately sucked in by this menu screen. Like, the Tri-Optimum Corporate Network? What is that? This is cool. And the dating definitely shows in terms of the visuals. More so than in Thief, because I don't think this game was very well served by being built in the Dark Engine. But well, and that's only true in some ways. But the visuals are noticeably poor. That said, of course, it's the same sound design team and a lot of the same voice actors. And what I remember most about playing this for the first time in high school is that at the time, it was the most scared I had ever been playing a video game. Like, this game is genuinely scary. And it's not even an outright horror game. You know, it's like a sci-fi immersive sim, and you know, they definitely wanted it to be spooky, but yes, I did play this before Thief. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and get started. We are, let me just verify, we're on impossible. So, more and harder enemies, that's one thing. But the thing that makes impossible so difficult, really, it's two things. You start out with virtually no health. Your base HP is 10, and every rank of endurance only gives you 3. So, your OS upgrades really need to change in order to account for it. There's the tank upgrade is well worth using on impossible, and where it just isn't in the lower difficulty. So the incredibly low hit points is one issue, and of course the other big one is you only get half as many. Well, no, you get the same number of modules, but all of the upgrades cost twice as much. So you can only afford half as many upgrades to your character. But we're planning for that, so let's go.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you...
Oh, that voice! Terry Brocious is so good.
How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine?
I can't believe how few people have played this game.
In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary. Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
Is it though? Here we go. Sorry, by the way. I answered your EAX question. I didn't thank you for the resub. Thank you so much for the resub. I really appreciate that. I don't get to stream that often anymore, but it's always really, really nice to have this core group of people that still shows up when I do. I hope that you all do have chances to watch the YouTube videos and enjoy my content that way. I have not played Blood. I'm not sure if I've ever played a build engine game at all, Tara, to answer that question. So, anyway, what I started to say before I realized I needed to shut up for the intro is, it's fascinating to me what an incredible debt modern games owe to System Shock and System Shock 2, and yet so few people in 2022 actually know about these games or have played them. So it's the System Shock remake is going to come out eventually in the meantime. I've got a pretty high tolerance for retro games at this point. System Shock 1 is pretty hard to play. I think I think it's a line from the Zero Punctuation review of this game where Yahtzee said trying to play System Shock 1 is like trying to fly a helicopter with your heads shoved into a Commodore 64, which is, it's fairly accurate. That game's tough to play. System Shock 2, on the other hand, I mean, with the GOG version out there, it's pretty accessible, and it's still fantastic. So, let's go.
Welcome to the Ramsey Center Unm Recruitment Facility. Please watch your step when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts.
Sure thing, dude. I just love this game's... Can't use the phone. I love just how immersive this game really is. Like, everything in it. You know, this method of character creation.
Step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street-level recruitment.
To street-level UNN training and recruitment. UNN. Sandman Audio. What's this one? Happy Noodle. Salads, drinks, breakfast, appetizers, lunch, dinner, desserts. Please select your choice. Happy Hour. And it's so funny because, you know, it's obvious where all the edges are now, but given the tech that was available to them in 1999, like, I felt like I was in a big, funky cyberpunk city. Like, this game just blew my mind the first time I played it. Like, apparently Ken Laverne is very hard to work for, but his reputation as a designer is pretty well earned. Never forget the basketball. Alright, here we go.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the basic training center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the advanced training area.
Alright, let's do basic training.
To pick up some basic skills you'll need to get by in the service, enter this CyberLink booth. Inside, you'll learn the basic skills you'll need to get started. Welcome, trainee. While you're in our virtual training courses, we provide you with a simulated cyber interface. This training interface is identical to an actual military-grade cyber interface. Now, let's try it out. Move the mouse. See how it changes where you look? That means you're in shoot mode. Hit the tab key. This puts you in use mode, where you can use your mouse to interact with items in the world. Open your primary MFD, or multifunction display, by clicking on the MFD button near the bottom of the screen. This display shows your strengths in various areas. When you're ready to continue, press the tab key to go back to shoot mode. Try changing between modes until you get the hang of it. Follow the red path along the ground to the next training station.
Alright, let's look at our basketball. A basketball. That's how we do queries, which is pretty fun. So there's the research module, load query cursor. We got map MFD. There's no map available. I thought I turned on the mini-map. Okay, yeah, but there's no map available. Duh. Okay, so 0 modules, 0 nanites, no research, no logs, no keycards. So let's look at the MFD right quick. This shows our stats. Strength. Strength determines your inventory capacity and the amount of damage you inflict in hand-to-hand combat. All armor and some weapons have a minimum strength requirement. Endurance. Determines your maximum hit points and your resistance to radiation and toxins. Notice, 10 hit points. That's where you start on impossible. That is not easy. Psionics. Psionic ability determines your skill in using psionic disciplines. The duration, range, and damage inflicted by psionic disciplines can be dependent on psi. Agility determines your movement speed and reduces falling damage and weapon kickback. Cybernetic affinity improves your chances of successfully using the hack, repair, and modify skills, and also lessens the number of dangerous nodes. Tech. Hack. The hacking skill determines your chances of hacking various computer systems. Repair. The repair skill determines your chances of repairing broken weapons or computer systems. Modify. The modify skill determines your chances of modifying a weapon to an improved state. Maintain. The maintenance skill determines the amount of improvement you can make to the condition of a weapon. You must have a maintenance tool to use this skill. Research. The research skill determines the efficiency of your research. Researching alien organs can yield useful information, and some items cannot be used without first being researched. Combat. Standard. This skill increases the amount of damage you inflict with standard weapons. Some standard weapons have a minimum skill requirement. Energy. This skill increases the amount of damage you inflict with energy weapons. Some energy weapons have a minimum skill requirement. Heavy. This skill increases the amount of damage you inflict with heavy weapons. Some heavy weapons have a minimum skill requirement. And exotic. This skill increases the amount of damage you inflict with exotic weapons. Some exotic weapons have a minimum skill requirement. And psi. Oh yes, here we go. This is the weapon equip slot, this is the armor slot, and here are implant slots. So tier 1. These buttons select which tier of psionic disciplines you wish to purchase. First tier neural capacity. This is required for first tier psionic disciplines. It increases your maximum psi points by 2. All first tier disciplines cost 1 psi point per use. Psycho-reflective screen protects you from 15% of all combat damage. Duration 20 seconds plus 30 seconds per psi. Neuro-reflex dampening eliminates all weapon kickback. Duration 1 minute plus 20 seconds per psi. Kinetic redirection pulls an object toward you. Duration 1 second per psi. Psychogenic agility increases your agility by 2. Duration 2 minutes plus 1 minute per psi. Psychogenic cyber affinity increases your cyber by 2. Duration 2 minutes plus 1 minute per psi. Projected cryokinesis launches a heat-draining projectile at a target. Higher psi increases damage. Remote electron tampering makes active alarms time out faster. Time reduction 5 seconds plus 5 seconds per psi. Tier 2. Second tier neural capacity. This is required for second tier psionic disciplines. It increases your maximum psi points by 4. All second tier disciplines cost 2 psi points per use. Anti-entropic field. While this discipline is active, your ranged weapons cannot break and their condition will not degrade. Duration 10 seconds plus 20 seconds per psi. That seems useful, especially given how difficult it's going to be to keep up maintenance tools. That wasn't worth it in my first play, but my last impossible playthrough might be worth it on this one. Adrenaline overproduction increases hand-to-hand damage by a factor equal to psi. Duration 10 seconds per psi. Neural decontamination shields you from 80% of radiation damage. Duration 10 seconds plus 5 seconds per psi. Cerebro-stimulated regeneration regenerates lost hit points. Amount healed 2 hit points per psi. Psychogenic strength increases your strength by 2. Duration 2 minutes plus 1 minute per psi. Recursive psionic amplification increases your psionics by 2. Psi point costs are doubled while active. Duration 10 seconds plus 10 seconds per psi. Localized pyrokinesis damages all creatures within a 5-foot radius. Higher psi increases damage to enemies. Duration 15 seconds plus 8 seconds per psi. Hey Nyron! Yes, the Patreon voters selected System Shock 2 for the next playthrough. Third tier neural capacity. This is required for third tier psionic disciplines. It increases your maximum psi points by 6. All third tier disciplines cost 3 psi points per use. Molecular duplication. Use some nanites to duplicate one ammo clip or hypo. Chance of success 30% plus 10% per psi. Electron cascade. Recharges a single charged item or weapon. Recharge amount 20% per point of psi, up to the maximum allowed by your maintenance skill. Energy reflection provides 50% immunity to all energy-based damage sources. Duration 20 seconds per psi. Neural toxin blocker shields you from 100% of toxin absorption. Duration 10 seconds plus 5 seconds per psi. Enhanced motion sensitivity shows the location of all nearby creatures. Duration 30 seconds per psi. Projected pyrokinesis. Launches a fiery projectile at a target. Higher psi increases damage. Psionic hypnogenesis. Target non-robotic creature will stand still and docile. If the creature takes damage, the effect ends. Duration 20 seconds per psi. See, some of these sound, I don't know, you could get really clever with some of these. One of the Patreon voters asked me specifically to start Navy and do as much of a tech focus as I can. So, obviously, I'm going to do that. That said, none of the technical skills actually kill enemies. So, I've been noodling on how to have some novelty for myself and the viewers in that respect. And I think that, given the tech focus, the fact that I can at least get, one into modify, some into maintain, I'm planning to kind of orient myself toward the grenade launcher this playthrough, which is something I've never done before. So, that's exciting. We'll see how it goes. 4th tier neural capacity. This is required for 4th tier psionic disciplines. It increases your maximum psi points by 8. All 4th tier disciplines cost 4 psi points per use. Photonic Redirection. Renders you invisible to all creatures. Firing a weapon will end the effect. Duration 5 seconds plus 5 seconds per psi. Remote Pattern Detection. Shows the location of many useful items, including nanites, ammo, hypos, implants, and audio logs. Duration 1 minute per psi. Electron Suppression. Immobilizes any robotic target. Duration 3 seconds per psi. Psychogenic Endurance. Increases your endurance by 2. Duration 2 minutes plus 1 minute per psi. Molecular Transmutation. Turns ammunition and hypos into nanites. Remote Circuitry Manipulation. Allows you to hack psionically. Uses half your psi stat rounded up in place of both hacking skill and cyber stat, and costs psi points instead of nanites. Cerebroenergetic Extension. Turns your psi amp into a powerful melee weapon. Duration 10 seconds per psi. And 5th tier neural capacity. This is required for 5th tier psionic disciplines. It increases your maximum psi points by 10. All 5th tier disciplines cost 5 psi points per use. Advanced cerebro-stimulated regeneration. Regenerates lost hit points. Amount healed, 5 hit points plus 5 hit points per psi. Soma Transference. Drains target non-robotic creature of hit points and adds those hit points to your total. Instantaneous quantum relocation. Teleports you to a marked location. If there is no marked location, this will set a marker at your current position. You can clear an obsolete teleport marker by hitting Alt-T. Apothem, thank you so much for the resub. 28 months! I can hardly believe it. I'm really blown away by the continued support from all of you guys. It really means a lot to me. Thanks so much. Good to have you back in the stream, my friend. Welcome. Imposed neural restructuring. Causes a non-robotic target to become hostile toward all non-human creatures. Duration 10 seconds per psi or until damaged by a human. Metacreative barrier. Creates a wall of psionic force directly in front of you. Wall's hit points. 150 plus 50 per psi over 5. Duration 4 minutes. External psionic detonation. Drops a psionic proximity mine. Does no damage to robots and double damage to psionically sensitive creatures. Duration 4 minutes. Psycho-reflective aura. Protects you from 60% of all combat damage. Duration 10 seconds plus 20 seconds per psi. I know, right? System Shock 2 Enhanced and the System Shock Remake were both supposed to be out a long time ago. But whatever, that's okay.
To pick up items, center them on your screen and right-click. This will automatically place that item into your inventory. To view your inventory, press the Tab key. You can move items around your inventory by left-clicking and dragging them around. To drop an item, drag it from your inventory into the 3D view and release the mouse button.
Alright, we got a bag of chips and a bottle of juice. Let's get the lore on these. Krako's potato chips, voted the UNN's national food product in the early 21st century, are made from slices of common potatoes, deep-fried in hydrogenated oils. This treat is often supplemented with vitamins to boost its questionable nutritional value. When you need a tasty treat, Krako's are the chips to beat. Eat them by the bunch or by pound. New improved Krako's won't let you down. Krako's NeuroNet promotion, 2111. And bottle of juice. Produced from gene-grafted fruit in hydroponics tanks, the popular Tasty Fruit caffeinated fruit drink is chock full of vitamins, sugar, and fruit pulp. That sounds delicious. Yeah, this game doesn't support windowed mode, which is a shame.
To use items like buttons in computers, center them in your view and click the right mouse button. All usable items will have brackets around them. Highlight the button on the pillar and right-click. This will activate the lift. Try it out. If you can still see your inventory display, it means you're in use mode. Hit tab to return to shoot mode.
Simple enough. Yeah, you probably could do it with New Dark. I didn't want to bother messing with any tech stuff, which is why I just took the GOG version and ran it out of the box. It's in the Dark engine. You can really tell in the menus, and if you look at the character models, you notice it there too.
The object before you is a med hypo. Pick it up and then press tab to go into use mode. Right-clicking on the med hypo will use it and restore some needed hit points. Your hit points are displayed by a bar in the lower left corner of your screen. Many objects in your inventory can be used by right-clicking on them.
What's funny is that if you play on normal or easy, when you enter this booth, you are missing a huge chunk of hit points. But when you're on impossible, your maximum hit points are significantly lower than the hurt version of you is anyway. So this training med hypo is useless. I guess they figured no one was dumb enough to play impossible on their first run. Designed as a quick fix for minor injuries, the ChemCal Medical Hypo injects a healing enzyme, which can make a crude assessment of the patient's condition and somewhat alter the chemical makeup of the hypo to fit the case. In addition, the hypo contains a mixture of standard painkillers and anticoagulants. Not meant as a treatment for serious injury, the Med Hypo will do in a pinch. The only downside is the rather sharp stick of the over-engineered vac needle, which was nearly recalled 12 years ago on its introduction. Strong litigation by Triop's legal department eliminated that potentially costly eventuality.
See the crate in front of you? To search it, center it on your screen and right-click. If you are in use mode, simply move the pointer to the crate and right-click. To take an item from that container, simply left-click on it. This will automatically place that item in your inventory. To close the container window and return to shoot mode, press the tab key.
The world building in this game is just so good, and I think the thing that really boggles my mind thinking back to it, that I should say that blew my mind back in the day, was it's so commonplace now, it almost feels played out. This was the first game I ever played that did storytelling through flavor text and audio logs like this. A small quantity of fermium. Research software and nanite-driven molecular processing has come to mean that the necessary material for performing basic research no longer includes complex organics and complex synthetics. Instead, chemical elements serve as raw materials for the nanite research processors and are combined as needed. Chemical containers such as this one are carefully designed to prevent the material from reacting with the environment either chemically or energetically, and are fitted with dispensing nozzles that dock with most standard nanite injection ports.
One of the most important tools you have as a soldier is your PDA. This device stores audio logs, emails, and other useful information. Click on the disk icon near the bottom of your screen to bring up the PDA display. Currently, the contents of your PDA are empty. Now pick up the audio log in front of you.
Emails. Deck 1, Engineering. Deck 2, Med Sci. Oh, I can't go anywhere else. Logs. Notes. And help text. I have none of any of those. Log. Trainer 2611 added to PDA.
This message is coming from the audio log you just picked up. You can use your PDA at any time to play any audio log or email you've received. In the field, the PDA is also used for keeping track of your current mission objectives and obtaining help information. Now it's time to learn about jumping and mantling. To jump, simply press the space bar. Some surfaces can be mantled onto by holding down the spacebar. Mantling lets you pull yourself up to ledges and other high places in front of you. Give it a try.
What's funny is some of the stuff that they kept in the Dark Engine from the Thief games. Like, if you pay attention, this is the sound of Garrett running on tile. It doesn't matter because none of the stealth mechanics from Thief are enabled, but they kept the sounds, which I find fascinating. Alright, we're done.
You've done well. Remember, if you're unclear on any aspect of what you've just learned, you can repeat the training as often as you wish.
Hi, Lemon King! Yes, I know. I heard that and I was like, ooh, why am I anxious?
If you've completed basic training, you're ready for the advanced lessons provided here. Advanced training will familiarize you with the 3 key areas of military service: weapons training, technical training, and psionics training. Approach the Cyberlink booth of your choice to train in that area. When you finish training in the 3 areas, proceed directly to the Recruitment Center to choose and start your military career.
Alright, wannabe. If you want to learn the weapon skills it takes to even think about joining the Marines, come on in. We're looking for a few good men. Good to have you on board. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, the UNN has kindly provided you with a virtual cyber interface and all the simulated skill levels you'll need for the training tasks. But don't get too cocky. They'll disappear once you leave the booth. Now we'll teach you how to handle a firearm. Pick up the pistol and the clip from the table. You can equip the weapon in one of 2 ways. Bring up your inventory and drag the pistol to your weapons equip slot near the right-hand side of your inventory. If that's too slow for you, you can use the hotkeys on the keyboard. Press 2. If the pistol was in your inventory, it will equip for you automatically. To lock and load the ammo clip, hit the R key or hit the reload button on the lower right corner of your screen. Once you've loaded the firearm, take a shot at the dummy robot by pressing your left mouse button when in shoot mode. Notice how its health bar gets shorter as you chip away at it.
Alright, normal. Setting changed to burst. Okay, let's look at this stuff. The pistol requires a standard weapon skill of 1 in order to use. Both modifications to the pistol increase damage. The first also increases the clip size, while the second decreases the reload time. Developed by Trioptimum's military division, the Talon M2A3 45 caliber pistol is a standard issue sidearm provided to all UNN military personnel. After 23 years in service, the weapon has been designed to accept a number of kinds of ammunition, including the standard steel-jacketed rounds, uranium-tipped armor-piercing rounds, and even nanite-based anti-personnel rounds. Standard bullets. This 45 standard round is encased in a solid steel jacket. These rounds provide general-purpose stopping power. The main advantage of this ordnance is that it's extremely cheap to produce and therefore readily available. No target type is either particularly vulnerable nor resistant to these rounds. Fair enough. Delicious.
Some items need to be charged with energy before they can be used. Pick up the laser pistol. Now use the recharging station nearby. The recharge station will juice up all of your energy-based items. Weapons, batteries, you name it.
Okay. An Argon suspension laser pistol. The laser pistol requires an energy weapons skill of 1. The first modification to this weapon increases the energy capacity, while the second reduces the energy consumption. Both modifications increase the damage. The deadlier cousin of the spark pistol, the Apollo H-4 laser pistol relies on refracted light instead of electricity to damage its target. While it has a fairly large battery, the weapon must be replenished at a recharge station. The overcharge setting can be used to get out of a tight spot, but puts an inordinate strain on the unit's energy supply. Okay, so... Yep, there's overcharge and normal for this one. Lovely.
Weapons are not fine wines. They do not get better with age. The colored dot on the lower right corner of the screen tells you what kind of shape your firearm is in. Green is good, red is bad. To fight the effects of wear and tear, a soldier with maintenance skill can use a maintenance tool to improve the condition of his weapon. Just pick up the tool, open your inventory, and drag the tool onto your pistol. Remember that maintenance tools are only good for a single use.
A disposable maintenance tool. Gunnery sergeants everywhere make it a point of pride that their tool of choice isn't a loser know-nothing fix-it-all device. The better the maintenance skill of the operator, the more effect using the tool will have. These tools are disposable and can only be used once each. Well, we best use it on our pistol. Hi, Carter. I don't necessarily plan on either, only first or an all stream. Basically, I like to stream when I can, which is generally limited to when I'm the only one in the house. So I will almost always stream if I've got an evening open to do so. Otherwise, I will just do YouTube videos. But, you know, I will stream for several hours and then I will take it and cut it into episode-length segments that still get put on YouTube. But the answer is, I'll stream when I can, and the rest will be just YouTube, if that makes sense. All right, that's it for this booth. Let's get out of here.
Good work. Now you're ready for the Marines. Take a look at the other training areas first before you enlist. They might just come in handy.
Inside, we'll teach you the basics of some technical skills you'll need in the Navy. Welcome. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, we'll provide you with a temporary cyber interface and the skills you need to accomplish the training tasks. But they'll only last so long as you're in the booth. The object in front of you is a container of nanites. Nanites are consumed whenever you perform technical tasks, such as hacking or repairing. When you pick up the container of nanites, they do not go in your general inventory, but are instead displayed in use mode on the bottom left of your screen. Walk over to the keypad by the door and try out hacking.
Efficient nanite-based technology was introduced after a series of radical experiments at the University of Masala in 2078. Nanites are subatomic machines that are capable of being programmed to perform a nearly infinite variety of tasks, from forming themselves in a replication grid to form into arbitrary objects, to fighting bacteria and viruses in the human bloodstream. In other words, nanites, combined with the replication tech, created the every material. The UNN Currency Redefinition Act of 2082 opened up the door for moving financial transactions to a strict nanite basis. Cybernetic modules contain a mix of programmable RNA databases and brainwave EM, which can be used to augment a cyber rig at any upgrade unit, a proprietary Trioptimum training device. Skills acquired via upgrade units are not guaranteed to last more than a few weeks. Those skills acquired in this fashion and then used consistently, and especially under stressful conditions, are frequently found to be permanent. God, was he jacked. I had never seen a specimen like him. How much of his original self remained? Hard to say. However, I must admit, he put the psi back in cybernetic. She magazine, July 2111. Okay. That's pretty fun. What else we got? Okay, no query there. Or there. How about here? Yes! This standard piece of software allows the user... This is the PDA. This standard piece of software allows the user to interface with logs, receive email, and retrieve various data formats such as standard .map files. The PDA automatically organizes the logs and email by deck by interacting with groups of passive sensors. Keycards. These cards are used to restrict entrance to various critical areas of the ship. Used by dragging through a card slot reader, these cards appear deceptively low-tech. However, they are designed with a triple encrypted fractal data string. The cards mutate in sync with each other over 50,000 times a second, making them nearly impossible to counterfeit. Okay, MFD, we don't get one. Fair enough.
Use the keypad by right-clicking on it. To the right of the number pad, you'll see an orange tab labeled Hack. Left-click on the tab. Text will appear indicating the difficulty of the hack and any bonuses that apply. Click on the Start button to begin hacking. You'll see a grid of nodes. Clicking on a node will either turn it bright or dark. To successfully hack, you must connect 3 bright nodes in a straight line. Beware the ice nodes with the red outlines. If one of these turns dark, you fail the hack, and you might break the item you're working on or worse. You can restart your hack attempt at any time by hitting the reset button, though you'll have to pay the nanite cost again.
Click Start to proceed. Initial difficulty 50%. Hack skill 3 -30. Cyberstat 1 -5. Final difficulty 15%, 1 ice node. Password spoof successful. Rerouting security. Data transfer initiated. System hacked. 20 nanites.
You can use nanites to buy items from replicators. To use a replicator, right-click on it. Then left-click on the item you wish to purchase.
Please make
The
your
item you purchased
selection.
will drop into the slot below. Make sure you pick up your purchases before you leave.
Bag of chips for 6, bottle of juice for 8, 6 standard bullets for 80. But what's this? We can hack the replicator. Hack to gain a superior selection of items. Buffer overflow. Verification failed. Node infiltrated.
Hi there. Please make your selection.
Reinitialized.
6 anti-personnel bullets.
Thank you for choosing Value Rep.
Because I haven't seen them. While nearly useless against armored targets, the Might anti-personnel round is devastatingly effective against flesh and blood. Nanites inside the head of the clip autonomically sense when the round has entered an organic target. First, the head of the bullet fragments into several dozen pieces. Immediately, they seek the highest local temperature and, using microscopic pockets of gas, propel themselves towards the warmth and presumably the vital organs. Hi, Ironclad. Yeah, the Patreon vote was pretty overwhelming for System Shock 2 this round, so I'm certainly excited. I love this game.
You learned the basics of the technical skills. There are several other technical skills you'll learn throughout the course of your career, such as repairing items and modifying weapons. The cyber interfaces for these tasks are similar to the hacking interface. Before you enlist in the Navy, try out the other training courses. They'll be useful.
Psi skills.
Inside, you will learn how to reach out with your mind. Do not let fear block your path. We've provided you with a virtual interface and the temporary ability to project simulated psionic powers. Once you leave this area, these powers will be lost to you. The red bar at the lower left of your screen tells you how many psi points you have. Psi points symbolize the current ability to use your psi powers. Psi hypos replenish your psi points. Try using a psi hypo and watch your psi points increase. When you've reached your maximum in psi points, move to the next station.
God, I'm old. My back is just so constantly stiff. I can't stand it. Alright. Anyway. Psi hypo. The Psi Booster Hypo contains a potent cocktail of tension relievers, dopamine inhibitors, and circulatory stimulators. A dose will increase your Psi points by 30 up to your maximum. The Surgeon General has warned that Psi Booster Hypos can be habit-forming and dangerous to your health. Note also that the manufacturer has used a special patented process to make these items unable to be duplicated by those who know the molecular duplication Psi discipline in order to protect their monopoly. I mean, might as well max out.
This Psi amp amplifies your Psi powers and lets you project them into the real world. To equip it, pick it up, and then hit the tilde key. Firing the Psi amp activates your currently selected Psi discipline. You currently have access to 2 disciplines, cryokinesis and kinetic redirection. Go into use mode and click on the arrows on the bottom right of the screen. This will cycle through your available Psi disciplines. Later, clicking on the arrows above the number to the left will allow you to select psi disciplines from higher tiers. Use cryokinesis to destroy the robot and kinetic redirection to pull that nanite container towards you. Be careful. Holding down the mouse button can augment the power, but holding it down for too long will cause burnout, which will damage you. If you run out of psi points, use another psi hypo.
A Black Ops psionic amplifier. Developed by Esper Industries, a critical branch of Triop's military R&D division, this controversial device allows psionically able individuals to amplify and project their powers into the world. Before the development of the psi-amp, psi powers were mostly only detectable in a lab environment. The amp contains and inhibits the normal diffusion problems inherent in psi phenomena. The amp also allows the user to effectively channel their innate psi powers to a number of prescribed effects. This device caused a furor in the psi community, primarily because of its obvious military applications, but also because of the amp's tendency to define psionic disciplines along a few specific and generally utilitarian axes. Alright, here we go. Oh. Nice. Yahoo!
Mastery of the mind is a slow but rewarding process. Return to this area if you need more guidance. Before you enlist in the OSA, it would be useful to experiment in the other training courses.
Thanks, lady. Unm Recruitment Center, here we go.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. The shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
Alright, so Shuttle Bay 1 for the OSA, Psi Focus. Shuttle Bay 3 for the Marines, Weapon Focus. And what we're going with this round, Shuttle Bay 2 to the Navy for a Tech Focus. Lies. You can always re-enlist into another branch. Well, I don't know. Maybe by 2142 that will have changed. You never know. Shuttle control. Caution. Low headroom. Do not block. Nice force field. Mission postings. Year 1.
Welcome aboard the space station Chesapeake Bay, sailor. It looks like you've picked up some standard weapon skills at basic on Coronado Island. Now it's time for your tour of duty. Your tour will consist of 4 postings over 4 years. In this man's Navy, you're given a choice of 3 different postings a year. It's up to you to decide what kind of career you want to have, so choose wisely. Just approach a shuttle bay to receive a briefing on a posting. If you think that posting is right for you, head into that bay to accept the assignment.
So, when we joined the Navy, we picked up an automatic +1 to standard weapons, which is good enough to allow us to use the pistol when we start the main game. That's nice. That's gonna be very handy. Mission postings. Mission selection. This way. Mission postings and shuttles. Okay. Everything's on the UNN Lucille. Huh. Let's look at military police first. We'll go right to left.
The UNN Lucille is looking for volunteers for their military police detachment. Those sailors can get pretty rowdy on these year-long cruises, so you better not be afraid of a tussle.
+1 to modify and +1 to strength. UNN Lucille engineer's mate.
The UNM Lucille is looking for an engineer's mate to help maintain the ship's core energy systems. There's some heavy lifting involved, sailor, but you'll learn your way around the high-tech equipment.
+1 repair and +1 strength. And UNN Lucille ship's ops. This is the one we're going to do.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an ops training officer to learn the ship's navigation and data control systems. You'll get your feet wet with the high-tech systems, but also expect some heavy lifting.
So no matter what, we get +1 strength. The choice is between hack, repair, and modify. Hack makes the most sense by far. I don't know what you'd have to be smoking to choose something else. Tara, how far did you get? This game is hard as fuck on Impossible. Like, I don't judge you at all for not finishing. Alright, mission posting, ships ops, gain +1. Oh, here we go. February 13th, 2112. Your tour of duty aboard the UNN Lucille has concluded. You've spent a productive year. Captain Mayer was pleased with your work, especially with the initiative you showed in physical training. A friendly ensign showed you some backdoors into the ship's primary data loop, and you spent your time off pumping good old-fashioned iron. You've gained +1 hack and +1 strength. You purple haze when you chose repair. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. Year 2. Yahoo. Let's go. Laverne Tactical Training School.
Laverne, Florida hosts the Navy's premier tactical training school. While maybe not as respected as the Marines facility at Fort Bush, there's a lot to be learned here.
That one was +2 to standard weapons. Not the best use of our bonus here. UNN Pierce Ordnance Master.
The UNN Pierce is ferrying liberated political prisoners back home from their detention near Saturn. The Pierce has been assigned a detachment of Marines and needs sailors to load, administer, and maintain the arms on board the ship.
+1 maintenance. Reasonably useful, but not as good as the other choice. UNN Carfax Navigator's Mate.
The UNN Carfax is undertaking a mission to examine a newly discovered Class B comet approaching the outer solar system. You'll likely pick up some useful skills working with the high-tech navigation systems aboard this newly commissioned heavy cruiser.
+2 cyber affinity. That just helps with all of our technical stuff, which, and one of the most important metrics you can think of is assessing what you want at the end of your build and thinking about the cyber module cost through the upgrade units in game versus what you can get for free right now. And taking cyber affinity from up by 2 ranks is way more expensive than. I think +2 standard is more expensive, but we don't need it nearly as much as we need the cyber affinity.
The UNN Carfax is undertaking a mission to examine a newly discovered Class B.
Here we go. February 11th, 2113. Your tour of duty aboard the UNN Carfax has concluded. It was a good year for you, but not a great one for the Carfax. After taking a surprise hit from a small meteorite that separated from the larger mass, the Carfax was forced to limp home with 123 casualties, including the chief navigation officer. You stepped in and filled his shoes, and by the end of the year, you became quite skilled with the NeuroNav interface. You've gained +2 cybernetic affinity. Were you trying an OSA run? Yeah, it's easy to underestimate how important the stats are, depending on your build. Like, I'm gonna need you need so many things on Impossible. I need cyber affinity, I need endurance, and yes, I need psi, even in a non-psi focused build. Year 3. Now, hold on, we gotta watch the Easter egg. Remember, it was 1999. Good job doing the Macarena, robot. Okay, let me see. Yamamoto 0G training.
The Navy strongly encourages every sailor to undertake some amount of 0G training. A year at the Yamamoto space station in Earth's orbit will more than suffice.
That's +2 agility. Marie Curie Research Facility.
The Navy's Marie Curie Research Facility on Aquinas 4 is currently conducting research on a new strain of spaceborne virus that killed 220,000 citizens of New Atlanta. To lift the quarantine, We must determine how the virus pierced the city's micro-nanite shielding.
That's +1 research. That's probably what I'd do if I weren't on Impossible, but because I am on Impossible, and you get 3 HP per endurance, so my base HP is 10. The IO Survival Training School gives me 2 endurance, which means I can start with 16. That's literally a 60% boost to my HP for the cost of free. That's what we're doing.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of Jupiter. Pros, there's no better way to improve stamina and survival skills. Cons, the 21.2% mortality rate.
+2 endurance, let's go. February 9th, 2114. Your tour of duty at the IO Survival Training Facility has concluded. You managed to survive your year there, barely. The encounter with the descendant of a Citadel Station tiger mutant put you in the sickbay for a month. You've learned to respect the wonders of biogenetics and have trained your body to excellent physical condition. You've gained +2 endurance. Oh, well, I mean, let me be clear. I didn't finish this game on Impossible until I was over 30 years old. I failed hard on every difficulty tougher than normal when I was in high school playing this for the first time. So let's just, let's be clear about all that. Okay, let's go. It's time.